gentleman. We've had 2 strikes and 2 protests, or warning strike, as it were, within 9 months. Recall that even in the beginning of this year, Ayuba Waba was still the NLC president, and you followed the ordeals, you followed the activities of Ayuba Waba, even in Kaduna, when El Rufai was trying to lay off some people or disqualify some people who have been working for decades, and the arguments back and forth. Now, this administration has come. This administration didn't come on a simple platform. It started by removing subsidy, and we all see the impacts of subsidy. So far, so good. Within 9 months, Ajaero has made, his stand very, very clear that anti-poor people policies must be removed from the federal government's palliative policies that he rolled out. And he has not only said it, he has gone ahead, to prove it by going on the very, 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 very first industrial action. Now, the issue we have now is this particular action, the objective. And now people are blaming him and saying all sorts of things. But I'd like to ask a very, very simple question. You are still a member of civil society, but right now you are working with politicians and you're working for a government. Joe Ajaero being a member of the Labour Party, is it an illegality?
No, I stand for the truth.
Is it an illegality that the national president of the NLC is a member of the Labour Party? Is it an illegality?
No,
is it
right.
unconstitutional?
You're right. It's not an illegality for you to belong to a political interest. But when you now start making it an issue that, look, when you are, I myself, I'm a member of PDP. I'm the PRO for Human Rights Coalition in Delta State. But then when I'm advocating, I don't bring in political sentiment into my advocacies. The direction Ajaero is going, it was so obvious that it was for his political interest. Talk is cheap. Talk, they say, is very cheap. Ajaero, the way he's going, he's losing it. His regime is losing it. In fact, he's not getting it right for the Nigerian workers. What he's doing now, look, we condemn the attack on him, yes. But do you have to go far to cause pain to more than 200 million Nigerians, all because you want to make a point? You don't need to go for a strike, and strike has never worked. Ajaero, he was supposed to, okay, now you traveled down to Imo State. Even the governor of Imo State was not even aware that he came. There was no formal letter. Now, there's already a court injunction that they should not embark on strike. How can you, claiming that you want to advocate for the rights of Nigerians, you now disobey the law? There was a time when Nigerian Bar Association in history, during the regime of Babangida, they went on strike. The Babangida military junta went to get a court order that the NBA cannot go on strike, the Bar Association. What did the president of NBA do? He summoned the NBA members and told them that they have to cancel their strike because they must obey court order. And the NBA obeyed the court order because they know the repercussion if you don't obey court order. If there is contempt of court, the NBA knows. And I will even advise the federal government to start the process for contempt of court so that the leadership of NLC and TUC, they should be detained. They should be held accountable for their actions.
Comrade
because Nigerian
Victor,
people are tired of them. They are not leading well. This is not how to lead.
Okay, Comrade Victor,
I'm all ears.
I know that you are concerned about the average Nigerian, but someone else, an immediate past Secretary General of some labor union, also said that in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it is enshrined that there must be freedom of association, there must be human rights, and there must be freedom to protest. It's a constitutional right. And the person is arguing, which is the same premise with which the NLC TUC is standing upon, that they have a right to protest. And that is a supreme, it's more supreme, than any other law or court injunction that may have arisen. That the fact that the federal government goes to court to seek an injunction to restrain them from protesting is in its own an illegality. But let us look at it this way. If you are a member of civil society, If you are advocating or you are protesting against something, and you know that the principle that you are protesting against now runs to court to get an injunction, and you know that the matter is going to be an issue that will affect the people you are fighting for, what will be your position at that point? I want you to answer that question now without recourse for Ajaero's actions or whatever. Let us just look at it. Court injunctions against the International Labour Act, against the Constitution of the Federal Republic that says people have a right to protest.
Look, the law is the law. We must obey the law.
What is the law?
Son. The court is the
a court
place for the rich and the poor.
A law?
Look, listen. The law is the law. We must obey the law. Come rain, come sun. We must not put our personal and selfish interests before the law. It's just like the case of Peter Obi that lost election. It was still the same Supreme Court that you are condemning that made you a governor of Anambra State. Dr. Ngige never complained. He obeyed the court order. Why is it that the same Supreme Court now declined your interest? Why not accept it as in good faith and be a sportsman? Sportsmanship spirit. You congratulate whoever the court pronounced or announced as the winner. And you should even give up a hand of good faith by advocating, by communicating with the winner that if he needs your advice or your contribution towards the national interest, that you will be there to contribute to the national interest. You want a better Nigeria, yes. You could not get it right. Why not work alongside with whoever that is there? Ajaero, look, you go to court, you must not win your court cases. Most times when we go to court as human rights or rights advocates, we don't go that we must win our case. Most times we lose our cases in court. Our joy is that we've made a statement. You have made a statement. You don't need to go on strike just to prove superiority with the federal government at the expense of the Nigerian people. You already know that these politicians, they can be very adamant. But I have never seen any part of the world where you use wrong to correct wrong. Since you know that these politicians are bullies and you know that they are not getting it right, why not be a better person? Why not make the difference? Even when you know that they went to court to get an injunction, why not go to the court to ensure that you see to the end of it? Why not go to the court and convince the judge why Nigerian people must embark on the strike action? You must obey the court no matter what, whether it favors you or it does not favor you. Did President Trump not go to court that Joe Biden did not win the election, the last election? Did he win? He was the sitting president. He lost.
No, but that is not.
Go.
That is not.
Joe Biden is the president of America today.
No, but that is not
Trump
a good
has
example.
An opportunity. He's contesting
Comrade,
now.
but that is not a good
so
example.
You don't correct a wrong with another wrong.
It is not a
no
good,
matter what.
Trump's example is not a good example because up until tomorrow, Trump still says anytime he has an opportunity that Biden didn't win the election. That means he has not accepted. So that's not exactly.
But is President Trump?
No, but hang on.
Trump the current president?
I'm coming somewhere.
Is Joe Biden
cannot take it by force.
Did Trump not go to court to remove Joe Biden, to annul the election of Joe Biden?
No. Nobody has done that. Even Peter Obi has not done that.
He's there. Joe Biden is still there, the president.
Nobody has done that. Trump can't do that. Joe Biden is president. As we speak now, even Dino Melaye is being accused of doing media trials, going around all media stations and condemning the elections and bringing out all the things he's supposed to have gathered and taken to court. So people complain, people protest. It's still part of the protest. But let us not lose focus of the issues we are discussing. We are still on the implications of the NLC strike. Now let us even look at the other demands that NLC is making. They say in Imo State, some people were disqualified under the name of ghost workers. Some people are being owed multiple months of salaries that are under, presumed to be under the labor unions. Working conditions are not exactly good in Imo. A lot of demands have been made. And then the NLC is also saying, as the chief executive officer of Imo State, Uzodinma should bring out those people they say came to beat up their president and prosecute them. We've not heard anything about those things. Are you saying that those other demands are not valid demands? Let's talk about the demands first.
Look.
Let's talk about the demands first.
Look.
Are you saying those demands are not valid demands?
Look, according to allegations, because it's not yet say, it was the same people that Ajaero came with that beat him up, because he claimed that, according to them, that he went there to protest, to advocate for workers' rights. Now, on getting there, they discovered that they actually came for campaign of Labour Party for the gubernatorial election, the just concluded election that Labour Party lost.
That's not exactly a fact, because we confirmed that Joe Ajaero was beaten up in the premises of the NLC. We confirmed that Joe Ajaero was beaten up in the premises of the NLC. The NLC premises could not have been used for political activities. It was within the premises of the NLC that they said the hillocks and the vehicles that came to manhandle him. It was not on the streets. And that was confirmed.
It was the same workers that he invited on the streets for protests against the current government that beat him up, because they discovered that he came to use them for political campaign, not for their interest that he claimed he was advocating for.
Okay.
Besides, the Imo State NLC chairman has good relationship with the current governor of Imo State.
But we've not had any statement from him, have we?
Workers. Look,
Comrade, the NLC chairman in Imo has not made any official statement yet. So it is also a rumor or hearsay for us to assume that the NLC president of Imo State chapter has good working relationship with the governor. Because if you say that what the NLC at the national level is saying are hearsays and rumor, then we should also be able to put this in the same position. Because since the allegation, the NLC president has not said anything. And strike actions were observed in Imo, at least by the sources from some of our correspondents. It may not be 100% compliance, but in Imo, there were strike actions, which means that the NLC chapter in Imo is in perfect unilateral with the national body. So does that not conflict with what the governor said?
It doesn't conflict. Do you know why? Because you journalists, you have a duty of care to go and investigate. Go and confront the NLC state chairman of Imo State. You have to do that. Let him speak. Let from the horse's mouth. The governor already made it very clear that he has good relationship with the NLC leadership and body in Imo State.
So the governor's statement is a fact, but Joe Ajaero's statement is not a fact.
Ajaero is from Imo State, Owerri. He came for a political rally.
That's what I'm saying. Are you saying the governor's statement is a fact, but the NLC president's statement is not a fact? Is that not being unfair?
Look, it's so obvious. Even a brainless fowl knows that Mr. Ajaero went there for the interest of the Labour Party, not for the interest of Nigerian people or the Imo State workers. If he has a good case, if he claims that he went there for worker salary, why didn't he go to court when you know that? And look, he has not presented any case before the Imo State governor for his claims that some worker salary was not paid, some benefit and arrears were not paid. Let him bring the petition that he sent, a copy that he sent to the Imo State governor. He should bring it up.
Okay, comrade.
Look, strike action is never a solution. If you know that you have evidence to your claims, why not go to industrial court? Why not file a suit against the Imo State government? You get your judgment. You compare the Attorney General of Imo State to ensure that the judgment is implemented. Why didn't you follow the rule of law?
To add to the argument, comrade, the NLC TUC joint session have released countless communiques stating their demands. They have released documents showing that they have petitioned and that, according to them, Governor Hope Uzodinma cannot feign ignorance of all the things on ground. Now, were there issues before Uzodinma came in as a governor? Yes, there were issues. Were there issues before Joe Ajaero this year became NLC president? Yes, there were issues. And we all know that governance is a continuum. So the fact that the governor, according to NLC TUC, the fact that the governor is claiming that there are some issues he is not aware about, the NLC TUC is saying that the governor is not being sincere. But here you are now, backing the governor's statement, but not giving any opportunity for the trade union and the NLC to even air out their views. Now, even if he went there for political issues, let's assume, because we're not confirming anything here, even if Joe Ajaero went there for political issues, is it right for an NLC president to be beaten up? Then ever since he has been beaten up, what has been the reaction of the chief executive officer of Imo State, the governor, in trying to bring the perpetrators into book? Because what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Comrade.
Look, when you pray for rain to fall, you should be ready to deal with the mud. That is life. That is life. Ajaero knows that there's insecurity in Imo State. He knows the terrain he went to. He knows that it's an election year for Imo State. He knows that what he went there for was the wrong time. There is time for everything. A time to be born, a time to die, a time for peace, a time for war. Ajaero knows what he's doing. He's going there for the interest of the Labour Party. And he went there on it is a failed venture. There are a lot of issues. TUC and NLC, look, what they are looking for is Christmas money. I will say it over and over again.
In
Whenever
your
they
own
just see an
opinion,
opportunity or privilege, they will just remember that there's an agreement that
Comrade,
the
that
state
is in your own
government or
opinion.
federal government has not met up with. They will just raise up the Nigerians now know their tactics. We know, everybody knows. Nobody will take advantage of CSO or NGOs to exploit us. Look, in this country, we have great men of God. In this country, we have criminals that are parading themselves as men of God. We have wolves in sheep's clothing. We have good politicians, we have bad politicians. We have good journalists, we have corrupt journalists. Look, this world is made of good and bad. Every sector has good and bad. The youth have good and bad. They are used and into drug in Nigeria. They are used and not into drug. This regime of Ajaero, that's Mr. Ajaero, is a sham. Look, Nigerians are fed up. We are not interested. People are not even happy, carried away by their strike action, because what they are succeeding to do is just to increase the hardship of the Nigerian people. If Joe Ajaero knows that they beat him up or they assaulted him, why can't he go to court for redress, for compensation? Why can't he work with the police to figure out those that assaulted him and sue them to court for compensation? Must 230 million Nigerians suffer because they assaulted you? Does it make sense? Because of they assaulted you, Nigerian people should suffer